Hello and welcome to my vlog. I have a different setup than I had earlier. I'm rebuilding my computer and stuff, so my webcam is facing the wrong way because I have one monitor under the webcam, and that's my Linux machine, and I have my second monitor in front of me where I'm looking currently, and that's where I'm going to be playing this game, Metroid Prime. And welcome to my vlog 27, and then this is my 28th vlog because I started with a 0. I thought that would be a good idea and a fun idea. Let's see how well I can play this game. So my audio is going to be off, and I don't get to hear the music of the game, but I already know that the sound is pretty good, and it looks a little bit skewed, and I think that's the emulator. So we'll see how this goes. So I got. You know what? I gotta I gotta minimize OBS because I see double, and that's uncomfortable. I'm recording, right? Yep. Okay. So I am playing on my PC. I'm emulating this game, Metroid Prime, and I'm playing it as part of a podcast I mention on this channel pretty often called New Game Plus. Ooh, it is lagging a little bit, and yeah, this is the game that they picked for the week, and I have played this before. Oh, how does this work? Oh wow, these controls. This is like my biggest problem with this game are the controls. Yep, died. So Metroid has Metroid Prime has like a weird control system. Oh, let me just go back to this. So I don't have much background with Metroid games. I played the original Metroid, like half of the first level, and I just got really easily lost in the game, and I always heard that was not the best introduction into the series, so perhaps, you know, me getting started with that was not the best idea. And yeah, and then I played Metroid Fusion as part of the New Game Plus podcast, and that's a GBA side-scrolling game, and it's actually a lot of fun still. They're not enemies, that's good. And I didn't beat it, but I got pretty far, so that's nice. I'm probably gonna try to beat it in next week or the week after, since I really enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it. It made sense to me. It is a little bit of an easier game, and everybody kind of says that, and I get it. Can I scan? Hold on. Am I just not remembering the controls? Yeah, well, I might not be remembering the controls, so... Oh, I see. So they built out this area so that you have to get all the different powers in order to get to the next section. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, so the Metroid Fusion made a little bit more sense to me than the original Metroid. I haven't played any of the other Metroid games. Let me check how I look on the webcam real quick. I look okay. So it was kind of fun to actually enjoy one of those games, you know, and people talk about it so much, about these games so much, that it felt almost weird that I basically had no knowledge of it. Ah, there we go. I played Metroid Fusion a little bit when it first came out. My best friend had this game, and the thing that bothered me about this game really were the controls, and that's the thing that still bothers me, are the controls of this game. So it's a game that is built like from a first-person perspective, but one of the things that, you know, first-person shooters are famous for these days is the control scheme that is pretty much the same across... Oh, I don't have the music turned on. I apologize. There we go. Is the control scheme, which is like the two thumbsticks. One of them controls where you're looking. The other one does strafing or walking, so you either go backward, forward, or you strafe to the left or strafe to the right with your left joystick, or with your left stick, and with your right stick you would look around. So you might look left, and if you're pressing forward with your left stick, you'll go left. In this game, you have one thumbstick to use for walking around. So you don't go backward, forward, and then you turn left and turn right. This kind of feels like Doom controls, right, where you had like forward, left, and right, and backward, and this is essentially how it worked. So to do this, like to go forward and go left, I have my thumbstick like diagonally to the left. So that's what lets me do this. If I want to turn on in place, I can do that as well, or I can go forward or backward. Now, if you press, let's see, if you press lock and you lock onto, oh, there we go. Yeah, so you can strafe, but you have to press the left button or whatever. My controls don't map one-to-one, which is problematic. But yeah, so you can, if you press the left trigger or left button, you can strafe left and right, and that's you can kind of see the cursor in front, and that's great. And I think if you lock onto somebody and you press, you can lock onto somebody and be able to strafe around them, which is awesome, and that's great that we can do that. But otherwise, when you're strafing, you can't look left and right, so you have to let go of the button and then turn it back on. And I've heard that people get used to this, but it is subpar. I think this is like the weakest part of the game, which says a lot because there's basically nothing else that's weak about this game. The graphics are beautiful. I think the concept is beautiful. Looks like that was basically like a hub world. I'm always wondering if those yellow lines are an artifact of the emulation, or if that's how it's supposed to look. But yeah. Oh, I saw an enemy. Well, who was it? Alright. Oh no. How am I supposed to platform with this? Alright. No! Wait. What was that? Can I not walk? If I walk into there... Oh wait, who's shooting at me? Oh, and that's the other thing. If you want to look up, you have to press another button. Can't destroy them. Oh, okay. So I do have a bunch of enemies here. Let's see. I feel like I need to conquer... Oh. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like this is a first-person shooter, essentially, like to me. I know there's adventuring and there's all kinds of stuff, but you're moving around in a first-person perspective with a gun or something pointing forward. Whether it's like a scan thing, which, hey, oh, this is cool. Oh, so there were jellyfish. That was the issue. Let's see. Nice. I was wondering what was hitting me. Yeah, so you have the first person like perspective, and then it doesn't really work well as a first person. I don't know. Like it's set up as a first person shooter, and all the other parts of it, I'm repeating myself, but this is like kind of, I'm getting a little bit lost in the game. But yeah, so a lot of people argue about, you know, is Metroid Prime a first-person shooter? And, you know, and sure, like, maybe that's not the main genre of the game, but that doesn't detract from the fact that you are walking around pointing with a gun in a first-person perspective. And I think any game, even if it's first-person shooter or not, if you're having to walk around in a first-person perspective, you should be able to, like, navigate your environment like pretty smoothly. Otherwise, like, what's the point? I mean, this sucks, right? Let's see. Having one stick to control your movement is just not doable. Oh, does that creature just stop? Maybe that's what it does. Nice. Oh, let me see if I can scan it. No? Okay. Anyway, so I'm enjoying the game. Yeah, the first time I played it, I was just like, hey, this is such a cool concept. I can't do the controls. And it discouraged me from buying GameCube, because I felt like, all right, well, you know, this is like one of the best games for GameCube, and this is what you have to show me, like a wonderful, beautiful world that completely, you know, that you can't navigate. Like, I feel like I can't look around. I feel so trapped in my TV. This is, you know, and I think this game came out after Halo, right? Like a few months after Halo. So maybe we can give it some leeway, because, you know, the game, the right control scheme wasn't super popular yet. Oh, so I can't get into here. Alright, so I'll need to keep going. So I need to just go back. So maybe that's why they use this control scheme, even though it doesn't really work well. I don't know. It's just an idea. Like, I need to look down, and trying to look down like this, where I have to press this, and you still have to control it with your left thumbstick to look around like this. It's just so awkward. Anyway. Yeah, so that's kind of like my first impressions of this game. I wanted to make a quick video, you know, with these vlogs where I talk about kind of my experience with these games and capture what I'm into and what I'm trying out. Like, I think I'm getting a little bit more used to the controls, so maybe it's not so bad. But I do feel like that. And I wonder if any of the sequels, right, like if they learn from their lesson and they're like, hey, you know, it actually makes sense to use this super popular control scheme instead of this one. And I understand, like, the second thumbstick is actually the C stick, and the C stick is used for some kind of scanning. So I understand that they're trying to use the second thumbstick for something else, but it's just, it doesn't work well when you're trying to explore the environment. Oh, I'm so excited to play this though. Like, yeah, this kind of brings me back to my teenage years when I got to play a little bit of it for the first time. And I see how this is a 3D version of the popular 2D platformer, right? And you can kind of tell that it's built the same way, but in 3 dimensions, which is, like, it's beautiful. And the game does remind me a lot of Halo. It reminds me of, like, a mix. No, it reminds me of Halo, you know. Seismic discernment. Oh, how do I press Z? This way? So what does that mean? Hive totem? Okay. I don't know what that means. Is something breaking? Yeah, like, how do you have enemies that are on the ground if you can't even, like, you can't I don't know. So, yeah, thanks for listening to my 10-minute video rant about Control. The control scheme for Metroid. And, are these gonna break? You know what, just enjoy some gameplay. I'm gonna keep playing. I don't think I'm gonna stop for now. Passageway to the shrine. Oh, okay, so I can't go through there yet. Yeah, see, I can't look down. Oh. There we go. There are 2 more enemies. Or did they just keep respawning? Can't tell. What's really nice is in the Metroid games, I don't know if this is like every Metroid game, and I'd love to, like, go through all the Metroid games to find this out at some point in my life. Ooh. Character's jumping funny. Can't tell if it's slow or not. But at the beginning of the game, you have like a fully created or fully working functional suit with all your weapons and all the other stuff that's on there. And that's kind of supposed to give you an idea of, like, you know, how to navigate the world and stuff like that, and what the puzzles are gonna look like. And then in, like, every game that I've seen, you lose that. You lose a lot of these abilities and you have to gain them back. So for example, in Metroid Fusion, and I guess it makes sense that it would be Metroid Fusion because these games are, like, they came out at the same time and they connect together, stuff like that. Well, in those games, yeah, you lose all the abilities and then you have to get them back one by one. Well, this is cool. This is a cool environment. Alright, well, we'll see. This game takes 15 hours to finish. Can't go through there. I need to be a ball. Huh. So I'll be revisiting all these places then. Right? I can't. No, I can't. And it's kind of feels really good to like regain those powers, because once you do, you kind of feel more in control of yourself, and you can finally you kind of finally understand like the like how awesome those powers are, right? Like if you have you know, when you're a ball, you're like, okay, you know, I'm a ball, but then you're like, okay, so I can get to a lot of places and do all these different things. I can't charge up my weapon, which means that I have to smash the A all the time, whereas like once I have the weapons charging thing again, it's going to be more so about you know, charging up a weapon and then firing off these big shots, right? Like charging up and waiting for the enemy to suddenly show up so you can blast them. Or with the missiles, right? Like you being able to dispatch bosses and difficult enemies with the missile instead of... What is this? How do you even view the logs? Is it here? Logbook. Shows a lore. Alright. I think I'm going to wrap it up. You all got to see some action and some adventuring and exploring. And like I said, you can kind of see that I'm getting a little bit lost in the environment. And while the environment is beautiful, I sometimes miss things because I can't just like randomly explore and look around. Okay, that's there. I keep pressing the wrong button. Those are going to probably open up to become stairs or something if I do something special. Right? Okay. So I can keep going. Or if I go through here... A lot of exploration in this game. Like I said, if you had good controls, this would be so cool. Yep, I'm going to save here. This is what the save points look like here. Thank you for watching, and I will probably make another video soon with, like, some other game. I don't know. Thanks for watching.